Hello and welcome everyone to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black, and this is Chapter 1 of Let's Play Mainland, an adventure title comprised almost entirely of text, recently released for free on Steam. I'll keep my commentary a little more low-key for this series, as I suspect it's one to set a somewhat somber tone. I've completed its short tutorial and learned that it uses a parser system, allowing for a combination of point-and-click as well as text inputs, reminiscent of some of the very earliest entries in the adventure genre. So, settle in and enjoy. September 4th, 1846. The sea has rested for several days now, while the sea within me rages. The storm in my heart roars at the idea I alone survived this catastrophe. I spent quite some hours on deck, staring along the horizon, blasted by the salt spray. I have been well in light of the possibilities that surround me, although weak. Even keeping a record of my activities often exhausts me to the point of despair. More than once, I have pondered whether anyone will ever review these entries, or whether I wish them to. I imagine my diary will be placed in the hands of my beloved, so she may learn what I have gone through to place it there, and feel my love, for it has been more than the incredible journey we dreamed of. Truth be told, if I say not a word as the black, wretched loneliness creeps into my quarters, I may hold fast to the hope I will return to her side. Alas, my strength wanes. Mainland. At the edge of the cliff. I stand on the edge of the cliff. The sea has grown wild again, swelling with my fears, engulfing the rocks below. A powerful gust pushes me back from the edge, but it is too early to leave. I can still make out the fair island with my spyglass before everything becomes veiled in a curtain of rain. I adjust the old telescope. The wind snaps the hem of my jacket against my legs. And so this is where the parser comes into play. As you can see at the lower end of the screen, if I type in any letter, it essentially acts as an auto-completion with options beginning with that letter. So it means a little trial and error is necessary. So I shall examine. Let's see. Examine. I can also click on these. I'm already very impressed with the soundtrack. Let's see. I'll examine the cliff. It appears to be the highest point on the eastern end of the shore. On a clear day, I would have full view of the neighboring islands, but a placid sky in autumn is too rare. Alright then, let's examine the island with, a spyglass. Excellent. The lenses are dirty. I cannot make it out. Alright then, let's continue examining. I'll examine the islands without the spyglass. It requires my spyglass, alright. Never mind. Examine the jacket. Heavy with dirt and grime, it still protects from the harrowing wind and rain of the tropics. Unfortunately, most of the buttons are missing at this point, and the right sleeve is torn. I check my pockets like an immigrant on the streets of London, where a man is never sure of his possessions. In the chest is my old crumpled silk handkerchief. Alright then. I'll examine the handkerchief then. A crumpled silk handkerchief with my initials embroidered in the corner. Apparently, I am a man of no little wealth. How about myself? I am wearing pants, jacket, and shoes. I have spyglass and handkerchief. Alright. I'm noticing a certain element of templated text there. Examine the ocean. When I look at the water on a day like today, I can imagine the island drowns with me, its destiny at the bottom of the ocean. The wrath of the surf, both threat and comfort. I cannot explain this. My thoughts are lost in the fog that seems to pour in through my eyes. Alright. Examine the rocks. I'll examine a few of these with the spyglass. However, I kind of want to see what the examinations are on their own. It appears to be the highest point on the eastern end of the shore. On a clear day, I would have full view of the neighboring islands, but a placid sky in autumn is too rare. I've apparently already seen that. Let's see. Examine my shoes. My battered shoes. When we left the great city, they shined as if prepared to carry me to the grandest of balls. Apparently, you were not to make it. I'll examine the spyglass. The spyglass father gave me after his first voyage to these islands. I wonder, I've already examined that we are in fact in a tropical locale. I wonder if the exact, specific location as to where this character has come to be shipwrecked will reveal itself in time. Let's see. I'll examine... Wait, no. I won't examine. I will... Can I use something? Let's see. Can I unbind, unload, untie, up? Alright then, those are not options I expected. Let's see. Can I use clean? Yes, clean spyglass with handkerchief. I clean around each lens with the clean edge of my handkerchief. Excellent. Now I can examine the island with the spyglass. The island to the east stands in the midst of a great fog, nature's surreal apparitions like a mirage in the sea and island in the sky. The rocky coast harbors a sandy bay facing my direction, thick with towering palm trees. It is at least 2,000 yards to that shore, not difficult on a clear day and calm water. White aerials emerge from the cloud of fog, trailing streams across the sky. And may I say, this is impeccably written. Incredibly well so. Alright. Let's see. Aerials. Examine the aerials. Alright then. Gulls encircle me in a roiling cloud of white and black. Shuddering and surprised, my hand loses its grip on Father Spyglass and it falls, bouncing over the edge of the cliff. The damned gulls swoop and shriek at me as I throw my clenched fists at them in vain. Alright then. I was never all that fond of seagulls myself. I suppose I'll exit then. September 5th, 1846. I still count the days. Days that vanish, days that draw closer to nothing and nowhere, despite hope that prudence and these routine entries in my diary will shortly carry me home. My heart beats weakly, and consumption moves deeper into my chest after every rain. I have yet to find medicine on board, and the climate is not one to heal. It is not unlike England in this regard, and with so many ventures out of doors, my health is in constant jeopardy. One day's clear respite is followed by a week of relentless tempests. Father warned me of the foul weather, that even a banal and common malady at home would here leave a man incapacitated, weaknesses amplified tenfold. Even the stoutest explorer would require substantial mooring. So here I sit huddled, damp and freezing, at the mercy of the threatening skies. Yet it is not the cold or the rain, but the memory of the groans preceding death. Our captain, gaunt and bloodless, exited long before he took his last breath, leant against the gunwale, with empty eyes staring out over the black water. Perhaps it was divine punishment for an offense in his youth, but then God must find great fault with all our lot. We removed the first of the sick to private quarters, yet I feared it was too late even then. The ship's doctor supplied what relief he could until he began to show signs himself. I am left no comrades or crew. Survival feels no blessing. This I vow. I will return, and find my dear Lisa waiting. She must imagine my work going well. Perhaps the natives are more enchanting than I imagined in our sitting room. I can hear her telling the neighbors of my father's unfinished research. For so long I was certain she should follow, and put roots in this damned soil. My God, it would cost my sanity were she here to suffer. The main deck of the ship. I am lost without a telescope. There must be another on the ship, either on the body of the captain or that sailor who deftly climbed the rigging each day. To find a replacement would bolster my hope greatly. I stand on the deck near the towering mainmast, hesitant to even look up at the crow's nest. The sky is pale and sullen. There is a length of rope with an iron hook hanging from the starboard gunwale. I might go into the captain's cabin. I might go down into the cargo hold. Alright, so I extrapolate from that entry that the ship's crew were ravaged by some kind of sickness, and that our narrator here is suffering from no small amount of survivor's guilt. Alright, let's see. So I can only actually process so much as I read, so I kind of need to reread some of this to decide upon a course of action. Let's see, there's a length of rope with an iron hook hanging from the starboard gunwale. Alright, so I'll walk. Is walk? Yes. An option to the deck. I walk the deck alone. Alright then. I wanted to walk to the gunwale. Can I walk to? No. I see that I must collect my thoughts as a sort of no options available. I suppose I'll walk to the cabin. The captain's cabin. The cabin is furnished like the office of a statesman at Westminster, with carved mahogany walls and gold filigree about the edges. A finely woven Persian carpet lay stretched across the floor. There is a comfortable bed for such transient quarters. A painting hangs in a finely crafted frame depicting a single-masted sailing ship climbing the crest of an enormous wave. Next to the bed is a wobbling nightstand with a single drawer. There is a candle balanced atop. Near the window is the captain's desk. Behind the door looms a massive oak wardrobe with heavy handles. It is ever so musty. Alright. Can I check some of these things? Examine. Yes. I suppose I'll check each thing individually, such that I don't miss anything in a mistake. Alright, I'll check the bed. I can't... oh, no, never mind. I grow accustomed to it. I take that to mean he, laid down for a moment. Let's see, the candle. The candle is surrounded by a frozen cascade of wax. Alright, can I take the candle? Yes. Excellent. I take the candle. I'll continue to examine now. Can I examine it now that it's green? Does that tell me anything? No. Okay. Alright, examine the carpet. The woven patterns are beginning to fade, and the edges fray. A well-used piece of this office. Carved panels. It reminds me of my father's study, a warm, lacquered stage upon which he toiled silently. I would sneak to watch him scribble with his quill and madly sort through stacks of paper. Examine the desk. Here the captain maintained entries in the ship's log, details of the epidemic on the ship. Perhaps I continue this task for the sake of my dear Lisa. There are several small drawers within the desk, one of which has a lock. Alright, so I suppose I'll need a key then. Let's see, examine handkerchief. Is there anything new with that? No. Alright. So, is my jacket any different? I assume not. No. Alright. Let's see. I need to remember there is a hole in the right sleeve, as I suspect it may turn relevant in the future. How am I right now? I'm wearing pants, jacket, and shoes. Alright, I have handkerchief and candle. The nightstand. I slide the drawer out and find a box of matches. These will be useful, I am sure. I assume I need to actually take off. No, I want to keep my clothing on, unless I'm soaked, in which case I should take it off, such that I do not catch cold. Alright, can I take the carpet? I cannot take the rug with me, alright. Just for the sake of trying it, can I take the painting? I really do not like the painting. Alright then. I assume... can I examine it myself? Make sure I took the matches. I have handkerchief, candle, and matches. Excellent, alright. Let's see... have I already examined the painting? I doubt it was painted by anyone of note. The brushstrokes are heavily affected, giving an unnatural quality to the sea. I've considered removing it from the wall. I suppose he really does not like it. Alright, examine shoes. My battered shoes. Alright, I've already read that. Wardrobe. Can I take some new clothes? Clothes that aren't all tattered and holey. I open the wardrobe and get the impression the captain was very busy at every port of call. And intemperate, judging by the hoard of empty bottles. I assume that means there's a cultural variety of clothing therein. Examine the window. The weather is remarkably clear. I should take advantage of it. And how should I do so? I'm not entirely sure exactly what that implies for me. Let's see. Empty. I can't empty anything. Okay, so a couple of these text auto-completion options are a little unuseful to me right now. I assume they will be at some point. Let's see. I don't want to extinguish a candle, unless I might need to extinguish it just in case it wears down the wax. I'm not sure. I won't extinguish it for now, because I would need to use a match later in order to relight it, and I am assuming I've only a very limited supply of matches. Let's see. Is there anything else? Can I... No. Can I take anything else? Take off. No, I don't want to take anything off, so never mind. Is there a walk to the deck? Alright. I assume this means I've collected everything of note within this office. I'm not entirely certain. I'll check around a few more times. Let's see. I stand on the deck near the towering mainmast, hesitant to even look up the crow's nest. The sky is pale and sullen, and I've already read this, so... Is there anything to take here on deck? Yes, the rope with a hook. Alright, I take the rope and hook in hand. Can I use that to climb the mainmast? I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, I can go down to the cargo hold. Alright, let's see. Walk to the hold. I can also walk to shore, apparently. The cargo hold. A cramped space full of supplies and luggage, the door to the galley off to one side, and the door to the sickbay down to the tight corridor ahead. I avoid this place, only entering for supplies. The rotting bodies of 2 sailors lie in the sickbay with the captain, whom I regrettably moved there after their deaths. Inhaling the damp air, I must finish my task and return to the surface quickly, as I do not want to catch any airborne sickness. Alright, let's examine... I wonder whether or not I need to actually concern myself with any of these things in real time. Examine the air. Let's see. Staying below deck for too long would begin to mark years off one's life. I'll assume that's for more than just immersion purposes. Examine the dust. The dust makes it difficult to breathe. Alright. Examine the hold. Staying below deck for too long. Yes, alright, I've learned that. Examine the matches. Phosphorus matches, almost a full box. At least that's fortunate. Examine the rope with a hook. I use it to climb aboard the ship. I'm already aboard the ship. Shoes, no. Okay, so I don't need to actually examine any of these things. Can I take anything? Take off? No. Alright, let's see. Walk to the galley. Alright. The galley is in complete disarray, even by the cook's own low standards. Dirty dishes are piled against the wall. Light is dim in the galley, and the dust hangs quietly in the air. I look around. There is a cleaver on the wall. I'll take that. I'll take that. It might prove useful, but I don't really need it at the moment. I don't care if I don't need it at the moment. I want it for when I need it. Alright. Let's see. Can I take any of these other things? Take crockery? I do not need anything here. I could use it to cook above deck, where I don't need to worry about contamination. Alright, take the dishes. No. Alright. Take off. No, I don't want to take off anything. I assume it means, like, to actually, like, remove clothing, take off, and not, like, take off as in run. Alright. I suppose that means I shall walk back to the corridor, and now walk to the sickbay. There is no light, and such a terrible smell, I cannot hold back my stomach. I squeeze shut my nose, but the stench of decomposing flesh is overwhelming. I have no choice but to escape back to the relative safety of the corridor empty-handed. I wish to return to the corridor. No, no, sir. I suspect I need to... I'm not seeing use as an option here, so... Can I use the handkerchief to, like, cover my face if I'm in there? Let's see. Lift? No. Look at. Would that have revealed other things? Let's see. Look at rope with a hook. I use it to climb aboard the ship. Okay, so I assume examine and look at are kind of similar in their function. So, let's see here. Is cover an option? Let's see here. Climb, cut, clean, chop, cauterize. No, I don't need any of those things. Cauterize. That kind of worries me. That I might need to cauterize anything as I am alone, and that would imply that I might injure myself. Or get injured in some other manner. Alright, let's see. I suppose I'll just kind of start moving through some of these other... Ah, wait. Where? No, wrap. No, I want to wrap the handkerchief around my face. I can't. Alright, can I wear... Handkerchief! I could tie it around my neck to spite the wind, however it is rather filthy. I don't care. Wear... Jacket? I already am. I am wearing my jacket. Alright then, let's see. Warm. Wait, no. I suppose I'll walk back to the corridor and I'll try to scale the crow's nest, as I suspect that's likely the most plausible place to retrieve another spyglass from. So let's walk to the deck, and now is climb an option? Yes, climb down, dinghy, mainmast, mizzenmast, sail. I am not educated enough in my nautical terminology to know the difference in a mainmast and a mizzenmast. Alright, let's see. I'll climb the mainmast. I remember marveling at that sailor's technique. He would remove both his shoes, beginning a bit unnaturally, as he was quite a tall figure. His long arms would pull him higher and higher overhead. I doubt my resolve, and I cherish my shoes. Can I remove my shoes? And essentially do what he did? Alright, remove shoes. The soles of my feet burn against the cold planks of the ship's deck. I know. So now, climb mainmast. Climbing on, trying to move like the man I studied, that sailor who must have spent much of his life as the tip of a metronome, tricking back and forth over the open water. My jacket restricts the movements of my arms, and they grow more tired with each hold. Alright, is there anything to take up here? No, wait, no, don't take. Examine. Examine the mainmast. Right? The sail trembles in the breeze. The spryest of the crew would climb to the peak several times each day. What was his name? Sam, perhaps? Despite his refuge above our damned lot, and a flask to clear his throat, he was among the first to die. That is unfortunate. Alright, examine the dinghy? It would be no easy task to pull the dinghy to water on my own. Alright. The mizzenmast, then. The mizzenmast has a dinghy stored next to it. Alright. Examine the sail? I cannot lower the sail. It trembles in the wind as though the ship is still being blown along through these hardships, venturing further toward madness. Away from Lisa, standing on the pier, waving goodbye. Alright, examine the ship. A stalwart ship, having managed such a harrowing journey. She now sits condemned atop a reef. Ah, alright then. So, I assume from the introduction that I can reach the shore, that the reef is at least close enough to this island that I can reach it on foot. Alright, let's see. I'm not entirely sure. Is there anything to take? Let's see. Take off? No. I like the fact that I needn't get incredibly specific with the words I select, as I just realized I used the command for remove to remove my shoes. However, I suspect take off would function the same way. So I like the fact that there are several options to accomplish the same ends. Let's see. Look at the mainmast. No, hold on. I just realized I may not have actually climbed up all the way. Climb mainmast. No. Damn. I can't reach the crow's nest, I suppose? Alright then. Let's see. I am not sure what I need to do. Let's exit then. Where should I go? To the deck. No, never mind. I wasn't sure whether or not that was a rhetorical question. Alright. Climb down. Wait a minute. Mizzenmast. I have yet to climb up. Okay, so climb down the mainmast. I am not climbing the mast. I disagree, however, I'll take your word for it. Alright then, I am an idiot. I just realized my jacket restricts the movements of my arms. I need to remove my jacket. I'm sorry. I'm sure several of you realized that a long time prior to me doing so. I let the jacket slip from my shoulders. Now, can I climb the mainmast? Yes! Alright. To the crow's nest. I begin unsure of my footing. It is impossible to move as quickly as the lookout did. My body quakes as I put one hand over the other. The railing of the crow's nest is so far away. Continue climbing? Continue is not an option, so Guess just climb. Keep going. Climb crow's nests. Climb rigging. Do I need to start the rigging first and then the crow's nest? Climb rigging. I cannot see any handholds to catch myself. Alright then. Climb crow's nest. Alright. I reflect on the situation, more dire than I had presumed on the deck. In the quiet, my eyes find their way down to the surface where men should live and work. What purpose have all these, my tribulations, served? Should God take me now? I lack the strength to launch myself toward the perch above. Okay. Alright, what can I examine up here? Can I use the rope with a hook to hook myself up there? I suppose that would still require a lot of strength, so I'm not sure. Examine the rigging, I suppose. There are no handles attached to the mast to let me onto the platform. That is a very odd sentence structure. I am deathly afraid, yet this place is bound to test my mettle still more. Alright, then. I'm a little confused as to exactly what I meant to do at this stage. Examine the crow's nest. The lookout, standing on this narrow platform, gripping the mast with one arm, his eyes on the horizon until the sun was well past the yard arm. How did he reach his station, after all? Surely he did not leap. Do I need to leap? No, leap is not an option. Let's see. Is use an option now? No. Is climb with an option? Climb... No. Climb rigging? No. Jump is an option. Jump onto crow's nest or rigging? I am not sure. I'll try the rigging, because that, I think, makes the most sense, like, iterative. Like, I need to jump onto the rigging, climb up, and reach the crow's nest. I think? I'm not sure. I'll try it, though. I cannot see any handles. Yeah. Alright. My nerves. Jump onto crow's nest. Alright, then. I lack the strength to launch myself. Alright. I suppose I can't yet, then. Might I need to survive and... like, cook a little food, gain strength, increase my health and my vigor, and then attempt it? I'm starting to think I might. Like, this is an incredibly immersively well-written experience, and so I'm attempting to actually place myself within the mindset of one in such a situation, and it seems as though the narrator is malnourished, at least. If not sick in some capacity. I'm starting to wonder whether or not he's in the early stages of whatever sickness gripped the rest of the crew. And so... I think I'll attempt that, and, like, attempt to fortify my own vitality so that I am not killed by whatever malady it is that killed the rest of the crew. So... climb... down... Yes. Climb down... mainmast. Main deck of the ship. I could not force myself to go farther. I've returned to the deck. I stand up. Alright, so most of that is similar. So, I think I'll call this episode here. I anticipate this a short series, however, one with multiple entries, and I'm very intrigued with this. I'm very much enjoying my time with Mainland. I encourage any of you who are curious as to the outcome of this game and may not necessarily want spoilers to check this out for yourselves. I'm very much enjoying this. It's a little different, and by a little, I suppose, it is very different from almost any other adventure game, save the very earliest of the genre I've ever played, and yet I'm very much enjoying it. So, I'm Mr. Black here at Last Level Press, and as always, I wish you all good gaming, and Godspeed.